All right, I got some weirdness going on here because I looked at. It looks like it says ASON. I'm thinking mason jar. I don't know, but I've got that. It's kind of. I got some funkiness going on here because this little area of the park is. There used to be, I think, an old house that sat here, and I usually find, like, when I run my coil over this, I get no threshold. It's just constant, like, gnawed. So I usually run a little bit in auto sends through here. I've just been here so many times. I picked up a old pocket watch down in here, and 3 silvers behind me, about 25 feet. Anyways, I have my metal, whatever's metal is right here, and then it goes over. So I'm assuming that might be a jar lid, but there's something else, some funky glass right there, and I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is, and I don't know exactly what this is. So I got a little bit more digging to do to get these guys out. But I think the mason jar is broken, and I did pull out in this hole. There was a little bit more brown glass, so I thought I was digging up a beer bottle, but obviously not. Maybe a beer bottle. All right, I'm gonna keep going. I'll show you what I find when I get it out more. And this was giving me a iffy high tone mixed in here, so it could be the mason jar lid or something else in there, but it was a scratchy high tone. Didn't have high hopes, but I had to dig it because I know this area is got stuff hiding in it. All right, well, I got another piece of glass out, and then I got this, and I kind of wiped it off a little bit. It's a little tin container, and I thought it maybe was for papers to roll cigarettes, but no, it says on the back, just for best results, take 1 or 2 something with water, 2 to 3 times a day for muscle aches, pains, and then it says Rexall drug at the bottom. Not sure how old this little tin is, but it's got AS, and I'm assuming P, so I'm thinking that's aspirin container. All right, so that's coming out of the hole, and we still got some glass to dig out, so I'll let you know when I get it. Yeah, got another bottle. I got one mason jar going that way, one other weird thing going this way, another little bottle over here. So maybe it's just a little pharmaceutical thing going on here. Keep going. All right, here comes bottle number 1. This isn't even the first of the 2 bottles I found. Man, this is hard digging. Got more glass out. It's got a little bit of writing on here. Something law. Federal law prohibits half pint. I'm assuming this is a, don't know. It's not super old because it looks like it has a twist on top. Oops, lost my recording and the alarm go off again. But anyways, not super old because it's got a twist off top, and part of the lid actually is right here. It's rusted out because that was what my pin pointer was going to that metal. So anyways, I'm gonna keep going with the other ones in here, the other bottles. Interesting, there's no real markings on this to tell me what this was, but probably a who knows, milk of magnesia or some weird thing. Anyways, I'll keep going. Oh, got out a big old hinge. Like I said, a lot of iron out of there. And here comes bottle number 2. It's going in a different direction than I thought. This looks like a ketchup bottle. Or Crown Royal soda pop bottle. But I don't know. We'll see. That one doesn't have a that. Probably soda pop because of the type top. I don't know, maybe something with a cork. But yeah, if I had to guess, soda pop Crown Royal. It's not super thick though, like a old pop bottle, and it doesn't have any markings. So not sure. Not sure. Keep going. I think I got one more bottle, and there's something way over here, which I'm not going to go for. But this mason jar, there's something underneath this mason jar, or whatever this is, that's metal. So I'll get that. And the mason jar itself is right above it, actually. So I don't know. We'll keep going. And here comes the third one, and it's not a mason jar. Even though I had glass that I thought was representing mason jar. I can't get this out. This looks like another medicine or booze bottle. It's different than that other one, though. Jeez. Same thing, federal law, twist off, but it's a different design. Now that other piece of metal I found was some a little more tin. There's a part of a lid. So I think this is one of those rabbit holes, junk holes, you know. I could just keep digging forever because this whole, like I said, this whole area is just gnawls out. So, oh my gosh, I am done. I was like 30 minutes of digging or more. All right. Well, I came across an old video of mine, and I'm sure this is published and it's out there, but I just wanted to, there's something about this video that is current with what's happening today with the Manicore and the Deus 2 and the competition we have, and all of you guys out there who buy every new detector that comes out, and you're going from one to the other, then another, and you're using multiple ones. I mean, I'm watching videos of you guys out there who you're bouncing back between different detectors. And in my opinion, yes, you're only showing me features of the detector, but you are not necessarily proficient at that detector because you are switching from one to another to another. I have a hard time believing that training your ear, going from detector to detector, detector, and settings, you're losing something. Listen to what I say here. I'm at 6 right now. But go back over areas. When you hunt as much as, you know, like I do. Oh, there it is right there. Whew, it's a rosy. When you hunt as much as I do, the learning curve comes a lot faster. And like I said, stuff I didn't dig 3 months ago, I'm digging today. So that's the thing. If you're bouncing from detector to detector, you're going to miss the learning curve. I mean, it's going to take you a long time to learn that detector. All I'm going to say is, when you have a detector, and it's, you know, like I have old technology, the E-trac, right? I'm bouncing, 15, 17 years into the future technology, and I hope that it's better. I am going to fight through this learning curve. I know that I'm really praying that maybe there will be updates. And I know I'm not crossing my fingers because I know that there were supposed to be updates with the CTX. They never happened. And I know that updates with other detectors are really slow forthcoming. So I won't hold my breath. For me, it's always about the tone. And I just want to tell you that if you're watching guys out there with videos and you're going from detector to detector, they're great just to see the features of the detector. But really, to absolutely learn a detector, you need to stick with it 24/7, 365. It's got to be your choice weapon, you know, that you're going to go to every single time you go out detecting, because you need to learn those subtle changes in how when you dig a bottle cap, or when you dig a dime and a nail that are next to each other, you need to learn those subtle tones and what you're seeing on your screen, and how the coil is going to react, and how the detector reacts. And you got to keep the same headphones, because that's the whole thing. If you go from one detector to another, the headphones, I know for a fact that I don't like Gray Ghost headphones. The tone is different. The quality of the tone is different that I hear in that. So training your ear and your mind to hear a certain tone, I tell you, you're gonna benefit from that 100% more, instead of bouncing from a detector to a detector. So yeah, for me, I'm just saying that when I get the Manicore, I will faithfully use it. I will compare it with the E-trac on some tones, so I can learn subtle differences. And I will, like I said, use the Manicore faithfully, and learn it. Will I like it? I don't know. Will I go back to the E-trac? I don't know. Time will tell. So I just wanted to throw that out. This is a little old video clip that I just came across. I was going to clean out this computer, and I just thought I had something to share with you guys who are buying new detectors and or looking for new detectors. It's not so much about the latest and greatest. It's about learning what you have to its perfection. All right, well, tip number one that I found on the internet by watching somebody else do this was, underneath your shower in your RV, you can see that there's these small little boards over here stapled into a little, I don't even know what you want to call that. It's just a small little piece of pressed wood board that goes across, and then you've got a piece of plywood right here that basically holds the tub, your shower tub, up. And then you've got your plumbing, which is sort of dipped into the floor, which is kind of weird, but it makes it kind of more flexible. And that's pretty much it. They got this one post here, one going across, one on the other side. They got one that goes across the back, and then it does the same thing over here. So what I decided to do, I saw somebody else do the same thing, that, they have a little flex in their tub. So in order to decrease the flex, I added some supports. So I added about 5 or 6 supports underneath. There's these little styrofoam blocks. They're positioned all throughout the bottom here. And why I used, the person that I watched used plywood. And I didn't necessarily want to use plywood because I wanted it to flex. So I used styrofoam blocks, I glued them all together, and then I wedged them in here with some cardboard, and they're actually held down with a piece of duct tape on the bottom to keep them at least in place. This isn't rocket science, and it should travel fine with enough tension, and as we apply pressure to the tub base, these are going to give a little bit. So it's not going to be rigid, but it's going to add extra support. And I'm hoping that just by doing this, we will increase the life of our shower, because these little staples, I mean, geez, look at that. There's only, I mean, you can barely see it because of the way the angle of the camera is. There are only 3 staples holding that crossboard, across there. And I can only imagine it's like that on the other side where I can't see, or it's even worse. So if I can keep support on my tub longer, maybe I'll be less maintenance I'll have to do down the road. There's one more thing I'm going to show you. All right. Well, In the drawers in the kitchen, while we traveled, we noticed that these drawers popped open. So one of the tips that I do with all of our drawers is I take a dowel stick, just like a 1/2 inch or a 3/8 inch dowel stick, and I run it all the way down our drawers, so it keeps them. So if one pops open, the way the board is, the way that the dowel stick is, it will prevent them from all popping open. And making a big mess. But what's worse than that is when your drawers pop open, you are causing, I mean, the drawers would stick out here like this. There's a lot of flex in these really kind of cheap rails. And what I noticed was these drawers weren't angled very well, and they were kind of like, you go in. Sorry, stupid alarm went off. It's going to go off again in a few minutes. But anyways, I noticed the drawers weren't flat, and they would go in and they would lock here, and then you'd have to really push to get this one in. Well, problem was inside the bar here, they don't have any supports. Like there's one place of plywood that goes up, one that goes across, one that goes down, and that's all. And so these drawers were shaking left and right. So I added some plywood in here, a block, and screwed that in to this. So now it's still flexing with the panel on the outside of it, but it's got tension. So now the drawers all close good. There's less flex and wiggle. Let me show you another. Now here's the two drawers by the front of our trailer, front door trailer. I do the same thing. I stick a dowel stick in here because these are notorious for opening up. These were really bad. There still is. I'm not going to be able to fix this right away. There's a lot of flex. See the flex? Okay. The problem is I put a block of styrofoam in there, right? And I glued it to the wall, glued it to the piece of wood right here, and screwed it in so it hold it in place just for now. The problem is the flexibility against that wall is gonna be great. Problem is on this side, I have no sidewall to create any tension at the moment. I plan on working on this. I don't know exactly how I'm gonna fix this, but I need to get something braced on this side, this piece of wood right there that you can see, to keep it firm. So that's something I'm going to work on. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it yet, but it still has too much give. The drawers are too shaky, and when you open these drawers and you're using these drawers a lot, every single time you open them and while you travel, you're loosening those staples, and that's all it is staples. So I'm just trying to prevent future maintenance. So those are my two little tips. If you have a travel trailer, you might consider looking into these things about your drawers and maybe bracing up your drawers, because they're not probably made that well. So that's it. Thanks.